Hi, 'tis I, Cora Poe, the one hell-bent on freeing the creatures that occupy our imaginations and often keep us up at night. Or maybe I can just speak for myself. Tonight we're exploring 10 of the most iconic or unheard of cryptids in the far reaches of the forests, old stories, and the corners of the internet. Some are ancient, some are modern, some are just memes that became folklore, but all of them are legends that refuse to die. Welcome or welcome back to SlumberMyth, a place for insomnia fuel. Let's begin. Might as well start with Mothman. Mothman is one of West Virginia's most famous mysteries, and now one of America's most beloved and recognizable cryptids. Reports often place the creature near and around abandoned TNT sites outside of Pleasant Point. Many connect the original sightings to the collapse of the Silver Bridge, simply because people claim to have seen him around the same time it happened. It is because of this that Mothman is considered either a bad omen or, in my opinion, a helpful harbinger. While knowing its appearance is scary, still uses its powers to try and prevent bloodshed. Its massive wings are usually described as silent. And despite over 100 sightings recorded, no physical evidence has ever been verified. A lot of people are loving Mothman. If you, like so many others, find yourself just smitten with Mothman, I mean, he does have a sweet ass, if you've seen the statue of him in downtown Pleasant Point. Let me know in the comments. I want to know how many of you guys are out there. My beloved little freaks. Next is the Duendes. Duendes are considered small, mischievous little beings that are often found around homes and forests. And opinions of them usually go one of two ways. Their stories do shift from region to region. So some portray them as tricksters who hide belongings like all the left socks or some silverware, while other regions say that Duendes have been known to kidnap children or corrupt them. And then some stories are just about them clipping toenails, like stealing your toenails. They're often seen as household elves or gremlins that like shiny objects and quiet corners. I definitely like to think of them as harmless and lovers of pranks. Then we have the Chupacabra, one of the most modern cryptids in this list. The Chupacabra first started gaining a lot of attention in Puerto Rico in the 1900s. Early reports described a creature with large eyes and sharp spines all along its back. The name literally means goat sucker. The name comes from a phenomenon that was happening all over the place that claimed they had had a Chupacabra problem because countless types of docile farm animals were found insanguinated, meaning all the blood was drained from their body and nowhere to be found in the soil or otherwise. Over time, another version of the Chupacabra came into existence along the Mexico-US border region. These ones described it as hairless, dog-like animals blamed for similarly styled livestock deaths as the originals in Puerto Rico. While no specimens have ever been recovered and identified as a new species to claim the name of the Chupacabra, many specimens have been found that were then identified as other things, like the dilapidated corpses of stray dogs that had perished due to the ravages of mange and just plain old starvation. There are actually quite a few crazy species that have been misidentified as the Chupacabra, and I'll put up a bunch of pictures of them. They're whack as hell. Don't worry, I'll label them. You won't be able to tell what normal species they are, probably. Next, we have good old Nessie. Vanessa, the Loch Ness Monster. I'm just kidding. I don't think she has a full name. I think it's just Nessie. This is Scotland's most famous legend on an international scale. Sightings date back actual centuries, though the interpretations vary wildly. That famous 1934 image was found to be staged, but more modernly, sonar scans and eyewitness reports still keep the legend alive. Theories of Nessie's identity range from misidentified animals to folklore evolved into modern myth. Some of my favorite misidentified organisms that are thought she could be are from the dinosaur times. So I really like those theories just because that would be the coolest. Nessie is beloved in so much of the world, and there's been many movies about her, like Water Horse. Oh my god, the graphics didn't hold up well, but it still is a movie that will make you cry. Moving on to the Wendigo. The Wendigo comes from Algonquin-speaking cultures. It's a creature that represents hunger, winter, and dangers of greed. Different communities have different versions. Many describe it as a once human being that was a cannibal, and the eating of their own kind's flesh transformed them into a monster in an extreme spiritual corruption. It's associated with insatiable hunger, icy winds, and usually is thought to have a gaunt, frightening appearance. In later retellings, the Wendigo is both a legend and a moral warning against unchecked consumption. Personally, I'm of the mind the worse white people got, the more the story got twisted, either by the fear by Christian missionaries or them concocting it to be darker and scarier to hopefully get white people to leave their fucking land alone. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. On a lighter note, Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, even the Yeti. Most nations have their own version of it, but Bigfoot, Sasquatch, is the one of North America and one of the most recognized cryptids. Indigenous nations across the continent have been telling tales of massive, furry men, long predating the whole modern Bigfoot concept. In the 20th century, the creature became famous through alleged footprints, eyewitness sightings, and interest from amateur researchers and zoologists. Reports often describe deep howls, knocking and the cracking of wood, the crushing of entire trees. People claim, or have even recorded, seeing tall, muscular, fluffy figures moving through the forests, especially in the Pacific Northwest. None of the claimed evidence has ever been confirmed by mainstream science, but you don't have to look far to get someone's very eerie video footage of strange howls in the forest at night. I highly recommend it. It's terrifying. Speaking of the Pacific Northwest, how about the Pacific tree octopus? This beloved little cryptid became a hoax in the 1990s. That's where it began, with an internet hoax. Probably one of the first internet hoaxes, created as a fictional conservational campaign. The creature was said to live both in water and on land, climbing into trees in the Pacific Northwest. And although it started as satire, the legend spread so quickly, became beloved to many familiar with its story, and widely became a teaching tool about misinformation on the internet. Something from the 90s, when the internet was born. Maybe we should all revisit that. Despite its origins, people still refer to it as a beloved cryptid, and I couldn't agree more. Incidentally, I also think it's not that implausible. Just because octopuses can survive for long periods of time outside of water. They love to explore and climb, and the Pacific Northwest is a very wet place. So if they were adapted to aquatic environments, like ponds, rather than saltwater environments, I wouldn't be surprised. Now one that reminds me of home. I grew up in Northern California, and in 2007, when I was in my early teens and YouTube was literally just beginning to exist, the Fresno Nightcrawlers appeared. They were caught on security camera footage in Fresno, California, showing tall, thin, leg-like figures walking through a yard. A few similar videos surfaced, and they all were surprisingly convincing, effective in communicating that this was something we could not figure out. And the creatures have never been clearly explained. Yet, on verified actual footage, untampered, there they are. The videos became widely shared online, on YouTube and other platforms common at the time. And before we knew it, the Nightcrawlers grew into a modern folk phenomenon known for their strange, smooth movements and almost whimsical appearance. And whimsical is so right. If you haven't heard of these or haven't seen them, please type them into YouTube right now and watch the footage of them. I find them adorable. I don't know why. They're literally just massive walking legs, but they are so cute. I don't know what it is. I find them so adorable. And I I really want to put really big googly eyes on them. If you see the footage, what do you think of them? Do you think they're cute too? The way they move, something about it. Okay, on to another one that's related but different to the Wendigo. Skinwalkers come from the Navajo culture, and it modernly refers to individuals who use harmful witchcraft or corrupted shaman, etc. And some of the abilities include transforming into animals. Teachings about the Skinwalkers is culturally sensitive, not meant to be discussed outside of the community. In pop culture, like all over the internet and in literal reality TV shows now, the term has been used to loosely describe shape-shifting beings or eerie creatures that aren't easily explainable by white people, that imitate voices or have some kind of uncanny valley aspect to them. This modern usage is not the same as the Navajo tradition, but has fueled a wave of online stories and sightings that are just plain incorrect. Your sightings are bullshit because the skinwalkers you're claiming to see never existed. It's a corrupted white people version of something very endearing to Navajo culture that predates the actual United States. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. Last one, again on a lighter note, are something called the Melonheads. Melonheads are an American urban legend found in parts of Ohio, Michigan, and Connecticut. They're described as small, human-like beings with very enlarged heads, hence the name. They're said to live in forests or abandoned places. The stories of them being seen are pretty strange, often involving secretive groups, escaped patients, or simply just strange figures spotted along rural roads. Most modern accounts are considered urban legends, but to this day, people still claim encounters on lonely nighttime drives in these areas. All right, my spooky babies, that's our journey. 10 creatures, 10 mysteries still whispered in the dark. Which one of these unsettles you the most? And which would you want to actually meet? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely want to know. Well, as always, thank you so much for watching, and happy nightmares.